More terrible news for Alberta. I am so sorry to report this. Unemployment has jumped by 0.5 point to 9%. It hasn't been that high since the mid-1990s. And Calgary, which used to be the economic jewel of the country, now has 10.3% unemployment. I can't even believe I'm saying those words. That is the highest in any city in Canada. Think about that. There is no other city that is worse off in Canada in terms of unemployment than Calgary. That's not because of low world oil prices. Unemployment in oil country in Texas, Midland, the heart of Texas oil country, is 3.9%. In North Dakota, where they frack for oil, the Bakken geological formation, unemployment is at 3.0%. Don't tell me that Alberta's 9% unemployment is because of world oil prices. It's not. It's because Rachel Notley and her band of NDP destroyers have declared war on the very essence of the province. Oil and gas, entrepreneurship, agriculture. No other oil-producing jurisdiction has put a carbon tax on itself. Only Alberta. No other oil-producing jurisdiction has put a hard cap limiting production, as Notley has done to the oil sands. No other oil-producing jurisdiction has put anti-oil lobbyists on the Government Oil and Gas Advisory Council, as Notley has done with Greenpeace lobbyists like Tzipora Berman and Karen Mahone. To be clear, both Berman and Mahone are still currently, as we speak, anti-oil activists. Mahone, who works for Notley, she is literally the contact person for a U.S. anti-pipeline lobby group called STAND. And here's Berman outlining her plans for Alberta oil. Leave it in the ground.
We need to keep the majority of the carbon that we have left, the majority of the oil, the majority of the coal in the ground.
We're not going to be able to avoid runaway climate change unless we keep it in the ground.
Yeah, that's why North Dakota and Texas are still booming when oil is at $50, while Alberta keeps getting worse economically. It is so bad, and it is going to get so much worse in 30 days when Rachel Notley brings in her carbon tax at the worst possible time for families, the worst possible time for employers, for farmers, for anyone who needs oil and gas. I mean, if you were a CEO of a huge oil company, would you invest in Alberta these days, or would you take your money to Texas? And Donald Trump is the next U.S. president. He is probably the most pro-oil, pro-pipeline, anti-tax president since Ronald Reagan, and still Rachel Notley and Justin Trudeau are pressing ahead with their insane anti-carbon schemes. Just like China. I mean, like Trump, China is going full tilt with carbon. So is the rest of the world. They're all laughing or shaking their heads that one of their competitors, Alberta, is slitting its own throat economically. But that's actually not quite true, is it? Rachel Notley and her NDP appointees and her government sector unions, they're not slitting their throats. They're doing great. Last year was actually the best year ever to be a public servant in Alberta, the largest hiring boom in Alberta history for government workers. Yeah, so it's just the little people who are hurting, not Rachel Notley, not her union friends. Here she is at her Christmas party last year, laughing and laughing about one of her job-killing laws called Bill 6. Remember this?
And then there was my favorite bill. But you know, it really is. Anyways, and then there was Bill 6. Now,
yeah, Rachel Notley couldn't be happier with things. Her friends in government unions, they couldn't be happier. She's going to keep going faster and harder, and more Alberta families will keep losing their jobs. The only change is this year, when they laugh and laugh at their Christmas party, they'll make sure no video cameras are allowed in to record it. Say, if you're free tomorrow, Saturday, December 3rd, at 1 p.m., we're having a rally at the Alberta Legislature against the carbon tax. Over 2,500 people have RSVP'd already. So that's tomorrow, 1 p.m., December 3rd, Saturday. I'll be there. So will Sheila Gunn Reid, our Alberta Bureau Chief. So will Brian Jean, the Leader of the Opposition, other community leaders too. If you can make it, please do. For more info, click here or visit rallyforalberta.com. Rachel Notley is hurting Alberta families. The mainstream media supports her because they're leftists too. But for the other side of the story, please click the link below to subscribe to our YouTube channel.